I'll be honest, I was a little bit skeptical with this assignment just because my own personal preference for learning doesn't involve a smartboard. The school I went to had one smartboard and it never worked, so we never used it. And in my English classes, we always just did it old pen and paper way, and that's what appealed to me. But I recognize that doesn't appeal to everybody. So I did have some insights doing this assignment that I appreciate, because there are some useful things you can do with a smartboard. With essay writing, one thing that I found just for myself and other students is identifying pieces of an essay, like an intro, thesis statement, transitions, etc. And using a smartboard is really useful in identifying those things. So what I think would be a good teaching strategy is to have the essay up on the board and then have paper copies for all the students to have at their own desks. And what I like about this is this allows me to highlight different things. Right here is a good example of a thesis statement, and then you can show the students on the board themselves. Alternatively, you could pull up another essay and then have the students analyze the piece and try to find the thesis statement for themselves, and they could come up to the board and highlight it for everybody. Just ease of access that really simply show what you're trying to have them understand about essay writing is what really appeals for me with this. Utilizing the highlighting tool for different things you want to identify, as well as the pen for maybe just to have things show up a little bit differently so that the students can discern what is a good example of a thesis statement, what is an example of an introduction sentence. Right here, you can have them come up and say, hey, this is a good example of transitions, and then write on the paper itself. And I find that's useful just so that you have something concrete, that it's not just abstract and theoretical. So that's one tool I really like with the smartboard for essay teaching. What I also liked was the idea of using the erase tool to reveal something that's already there. One thing that I find super boring is the works cited page, doing proper citation, which we know is super important, you need to do. So what I think would be an effective way to teach high school students in preparation for university is to have your works cited page and then have them write up their own citation according to the MLA rules, and then try to figure out what's missing, and then have them come up. They can type away what they want to do, or even just write it, and then as a teacher you get to reveal in a fashion what's missing from here. So we have the actual works cited, title is missing, and then the city was published in, and then the year. Just an interesting way to teach citation, which is something that's important, but is a bit of a dry topic. Also, what I like about having the technology up like this is it allows you to analyze different mediums of literature. So maybe not everybody likes books. You can analyze a movie on YouTube and not just watch it, but actually take the capturing tool, do the rectangle selection so that you get a nice pick on it. And then that goes right to the whiteboard, which I find super useful, so that you're not just watching the movie. Because me personally, I always felt when the teacher had to study a movie in class, it was just because they got tired of doing the books. It was a lazy way out. But you can actually analyze this. So maybe ask yourself, okay, what is the director trying to represent from this book? This is Lord of the Rings. Why does he have the Nazgul here on the clouds? Why doesn't he ever get over here to where the light is? Why is all this darkness here? Seeming to be the center point of it, with the light, the good side over to the side. Just really allowing you to have interesting discussion, and then students who have ideas can come up to the board themselves and share their ideas with the rest of the class, which I think is the most important part about teaching high school English, is getting people to demonstrate both what they think and then having them practice how to communicate, because that is really what you're going to do for the rest of your life, no matter what profession you go into.